Hello everyone, friends. You're on the Crypto Deal channel, and we have a new news episode, and the outflow from cryptocurrency funds has been going on for 5 weeks now. Recently, of course, we saw a small bounce, but at the same time, market tension remains. So, in this episode, we'll talk about the worst start of the year for crypto in history, and we'll also discuss why the price isn't growing. But now, let's see what interesting things I've prepared.
And it's doing this together with La Liga. There are currently promotions on the platform where you can get bonuses and join trading activities. Well, to take part, you need to follow the link below the episode. And then it's simple, registration. Next, go to the marketing activity section and find that specific campaign. And that's it, we're in. If you're into crypto and these kinds of promos, then this definitely deserves your attention. And I'll leave all the info on this cool event with great prizes from the TOOBIT exchange below the episode.
Binance will delist trading pairs with 10 tokens, and the following pairs are subject to exclusion. You can see them all on the screen. And after the delisting, of course, it won't be possible to trade these pairs anymore. So, if you happen to have a few tokens lying around, now is the time to get rid of them, before it's too late. And Binance made this decision for obvious reasons: the minimal liquidity of the trading pairs, and of course, the low trading volumes for these pairs. Well, let's hope that such a fate won't befall the long-suffering 𝗏. Vitalik Buterin sold more than 10,000 Ether coins in just 3 weeks. Since the start of February, the Ethereum co-founder has sold over $22 million worth of Ether from his public wallet. And all this despite the fact that Ether is not in the best state. Nice support from the founder. Buterin is known for his charitable activities and allocating funds for technology development. Anyway, previously all large transfers from Buterin's wallet coincided with a decrease in the price of Ether. Today was no exception. Over the last month, the leading altcoin has only been getting cheaper. The price fell by about 38%, and today the token is trading more than 60% below its all-time high. But still, at one point, it managed to grow by 10% in a day along with Bitcoin. And these are probably the only good news from the last week. How low can Bitcoin fall? And in the last news episode, we discussed how low the price of Bitcoin could drop and agreed on the worst-case scenario, where Bitcoin could drop to 40,000 per coin. Bitcoin is now experiencing its deepest monthly drop in 3 years amid investors fleeing from risky assets, and we dropped below 64,000. And there was also a break in Bitcoin's price below 60,000, which opened the way to levels of 50,000 or even 47,000. However, the recent surge allowed Bitcoin to settle at 68,000. So, that $40,000 prediction hasn't panned out just yet. While retail traders were panic selling their assets, major investors were doing the exact opposite. As a result, a solid cluster of holders has formed over this period, which isn't all that bad considering the overall situation. Political uncertainty and the general trend, unfortunately, don't point to any future growth just yet. So breaking through 70,000 isn't on the horizon for now, but a drop down to 64,000 or even lower is quite possible. So we'll be keeping a close eye on the news. There are no buyers for alternative cryptocurrencies, according to CryptoQuant. Selling pressure from altcoin holders has reached its highest level in 5 years. As the platform pointed out in its latest analytical report, it states that sales of cryptocurrencies other than Bitcoin and Ethereum have outpaced buys since early last year. This isn't just a dip, it's 13 straight months of net selling. Across all centralized spot markets, 209 billion doesn't signal a bottom, it means buyers have simply vanished, according to the statement in the analytical report. By the way, Ethereum and Solana have already dropped by 33% each throughout 2026. BNB has lost about 28%, while XRP is down about 20%. I'll remind you that last week, the Fear and Greed Index hit a new record low, falling all the way down to 5. And keep in mind, that's out of 100 points. And I covered that in the previous episode, and through all of this, Bitcoin's dominance continues to grow stronger. It now stands at roughly 58% of the total market capitalization of the entire crypto market, which tells us that we shouldn't be expecting an alt season anytime soon. Why didn't a weak dollar help Bitcoin's price go up? Investor sentiment regarding the US dollar has reached its gloomiest levels seen in the last several decades. According to Bank of America's February survey, the share of investments focused on the US currency fell to its lowest level since early 2012. Such an extreme bearish stance is usually considered a classic bullish signal for Bitcoin. However, in 2026, the market hit an anomaly that calls this entire logic into question. Historically, Bitcoin and the US dollar index have always moved in opposite directions. A weakening dollar made buying the primary cryptocurrency cheaper and boosted demand for riskier assets, while a strengthening dollar tightened financial conditions, putting pressure on the price of Bitcoin. But since the start of 2026, this formula has broken down. In January 2026, the DXY dropped to a 4-year low of 95.5. At that time, Bitcoin not only failed to rise, but it also became cheaper. This means that, contrary to history, the assets are moving in the same direction, and unfortunately, that direction is down. If this new relationship persists, further dollar weakness, which investors have bet on so heavily, may not help Bitcoin, but instead continue to weigh on it. Well, and with that, our episode is coming to an end. So don't forget to join our community and write in the comments what topic you're waiting for in the next episode and which coins you expect to grow. We'll wrap it up here. See you soon! I won't say goodbye